So I struggle with you can really tell I'm in my studio. There's a lot of inventory here, a lot of shirts, different prints. Now when you are working with African fabrics, and this is my beautiful pillow here made out of African fabric. So back to what I'm talking about today. So when you're working with African print fabrics or African fabrics, sometimes, I don't know if other people struggle with this, but it can be challenging, especially if you have a fabric that you've sourced, you have the idea in your head, you know what you're gonna do with that fabric, but when you get on the drawing board, then it's, you know, your ideas change, or you feel a certain way about it, or if you open up the fabric and you see the patterns in it, it's like, oh god, what am I gonna do? I thought this is gonna work, it's not working where I want the sleeves to be, it's not, you know, it's gonna use up a lot of fabric or something like that. So I struggle with a little bit with my design process, and I would say that I'm careful not to be like what, or not to do what other people are doing, because there is a tendency of maybe clients seeing a design online and they're like, can you get that specific fabric, and I want that exact design, I want it to fit like that, I want it to look like that. And remember, my day 3 video was about body image. Now I don't want to bring anyone down or put anyone down, but when you are designing, you have to look at all these things. How much fabric is it going to consume? You know, your client's body physique, how is she tall, is she short, is she you know, petite, is she a plus size? So you have to figure all these things out. You have to see, you know, some people tend to gain weight around the stomach area. Some waistlines are not good for that. What might work for someone with a little bit of, you know, a belly would be to have a high-waisted piece, because the place where you place that waistline really determines the look, the final look. So if you have the waist a little bit lower, because some clients are like, oh, I usually wear my skirts here, and those skirts are probably stretchy, or they're from knit fabrics, or the style is different, you know, and also the top that they wear that skirt with is different, if it falls different. So that cannot be just the place where you start designing your skirt, or where you want your waistline to fall. So it depends with the size and the shape of the customer. So sometimes I really, you know, my design process, I'm not like, you know, I don't just do it like that, because I'm still learning. But at the same time, I'm very careful to give my customer the options, and most people just want to stick to that. So I think sometimes that, you know, the design process is a challenge sometimes, because you want to give them the best, and you want to make sure that, you know, when they walk out of the door, they're representing you as much as it's their pattern or their fabric or their style or their design. They're gonna be, you know, like, oh, I got this from so and so. And for anyone that has done fashion and design, well, I got mine from YouTube and my mom, she taught me a lot. But for any professional, you have to go for consultation. Say, hey, these are the designs, this is how we can work around that. It's gonna look like that, but we have to either have the waistline a little bit higher or the waistline a little bit lower, just to address a couple of features and to make sure that you still look great in that design, but we're gonna shift a few things. So that the design process sometimes is hectic. I find myself making samples and samples and samples until I get it right. I wouldn't say I'm a perfectionist, but I would rather not put it out if it's tacky. I take a lot of time just thinking about what I'm gonna do with a particular piece. Some people are gifted enough to just, do it and they're done, but I always it's not a struggle really, it's like a process. My process is to just consult first, make sure I have different options to offer the customer, or even different options to put on the table if it's something that I want to mass produce, and just think about every body type and put myself in their shoes and see what really can work for them, what they would try on in the shop and just walk and feel beautiful. Of course, clothes don't make you feel beautiful, they just add to already what you are, and you're beautifully and wonderfully made. So I just want, I take longer or a long time to process some designs, and just because at the end of the day, it's not, as much as it's my work, it's not always about me, it's about who ends up consuming that piece. I want to make sure that they understand the different techniques that I have to use or that have to go into it, and find the best way possible to express myself, and also to make sure that it's clear that I'm not walking away from what they want. I just want to make it perfectly theirs, not perfectly what they saw on Pinterest or on YouTube or on Facebook, or maybe they saw a news anchor with a different design. Because you have to think about, like, apart from the African fabric is basically 100% cotton. Some are not, some, there's all kind of prints all out there, so some have less cotton than the others, but most African premium fabrics are 100% cotton. So if you've worked with that fabric, it's easier for you. You know what to expect, how to manipulate the fabric to fit, or to billow, or to flare, the different ways to cut it. But if it's a neat fabric, stretch, there are different types of stretch fabrics, and that's the problem now, because you assume something is fitting a snag, and you will go and say, do you have any stretch fabric? Let's say you're buying for a customer piece. Do you have any stretch fabrics? Oh yeah. And then when you in your head you're like, oh, it's stretch, it's black, let's do this, let's make it happen. But you forget that there are different levels of stretch. There's the stretch that stretches one way across. There's another one that stretches one way down. There's a 4-way stretch. It stretches either way. And not just that, the strength of the stretch is also very important, because if it stretches one way and it goes all the way, it doesn't snaps back, then that's a problem. It's gonna be super loose, so you have to cut it like super tight to the exact body measurement, and that can be tricky, because if that fabric is not strong enough to hold that weight, then you end up with tearing with time, that the piece wears out. So you have to consider all these things, and that's why I tell my customers and anyone that I come across, I say you have to have patience and listen to all the options on the table for you, and research on the fabrics. Make sure you even go online, check what percentage of stretch does that fabric or does that outfit come with, so even when you're going to source for fabrics, you know what you're getting into. And to be very, very sincere, I prefer, when I go fabric shopping with my customers, if it's custom and they're in state, I say, let's go, let's work it out. Let's feel the fabric. Let's stretch it together. Feel how it feels. You can even put it in your hand and try to pull it so that you see when it stretches how much it comes back or how much give it has, so that when you're making that final decision, you are not disappointed. So yes, that is day 4. Tomorrow I will be uploading a video, a DIY. I haven't done DIYs in a minute, so I want to show you tomorrow how to, ooh, this is super good. I'm going to show you tomorrow how to embroider t-shirts. I know you've seen them with maybe the map of Africa, with maybe flowers. It could be a baby, a baby's, what are they called? I forget what those things are called. The ones that romper, yeah, it could be a romper. So I'm going to show you how to do that really easy with a stabilizer and a sewing machine. Okay, so tomorrow I'm uploading that video. I'm gonna work on it tonight, edit, and you have it ready tomorrow. So today is day 4. Day 5 will be coming up as well, so stick around, stay tuned. Leave a comment below. This was so long. Oh my god, it's 11 minutes. So leave a comment below. Let me know what you struggle with as a self-taught designer, and what, if you're a customer, you're a consumer, give me your take. What do you think of the design process? What do you think it should be? Because most people think, oh, here's my fabric, here's the design, make it happen, come the next day and it looks different. Yeah, so now you know there's a process. So I'll see you on the next one. Hashtag 30 days challenge. So love you so much, Fab Family. Stay blessed, stay focused, and stay fabulous. And subscribe. Bye for now.